Start as we are, see how we go, and then add plays in as we need.
Sounds like a great plan. Vicky Linton, thank you so much for chatting, and all the best for the second half. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
So good to see Vicky back in the W League. Of course, had a good number of years at Melbourne Victory, and she'd be liking this. Huge amount of green shirts charging forward.
Well, there's an early burst down the right for Paige Satchell, the Kiwi international.
Shout out to Tommy Samani, who's watching this match. He'd be delighted with what he sees there.
Well, she's a potential game winner, there's no doubt about that. Has been in a couple of positions to win this game, or at least put Canberra in a winning position. And quite how Melbourne City come to grips with her is going to be one of the stories of this second half. Just restarted.
So no changes for either side at the break. Rado Vidicic giving his original 11 the opportunity to change things up and hopefully find that breakthrough. At this point, however, still on their way to their record unbeaten run. I'll put the mockers on it by talking about it. Birthday girl, hoping that she gets some reward. Now Dobson turns and neat work to find Holly Palmer. Back to Riley Dobson. More of the same from Melbourne City. Hughes this time for Canberra. To Tumeth, playing with, dicing with danger rather. Now Ma turns, looks further up the field, drops it to Michelle Heyman. Flooding in and plucked out by Micah, but nice work from Heyman to pick out Nicoletta Flannery on this wing.
Yeah, Grace Maher, the promptings out of midfield have been excellent. Just saw the quality of that run in behind Sam Johnson from Michelle Heyman. From that point on, though, it was always an easy one for Tegan Micah in the Melbourne City goal.
For all their efforts, Micah hasn't really been too troubled. She's certainly been the busier of the two keepers. Hughes charging forward again. Goal scorer from last week, of course. Tori Tumeth to the rescue. Tumeth, another one that has come through Sydney Uni. Now Heyman rolls it across for Koulazakis. Still with Koulazakis and cleared away by who else but Sam Johnson. Demi Koulazakis into the Canberra side. Good support and nice foil for Heyman along with Satchell. Going to make interesting viewing this season. Now, lovely work from Laura Hughes.
Yeah, good refereeing. Beautiful little turn from Laura Hughes. There's a little clip on the heels which took her balance away.
19 years old. She's been with Canberra for 4 years already. That's just extraordinary, isn't it? Recently returned from Throtur in Iceland. Reykjavik team.
There's something about the Canberra winter which makes Canberra players go to Iceland, because there's a few of them.
There has been a few, hasn't there?
Anyway, she's had a great game today, Laura.
Opportunity here. Kendall Fletcher so good over the dead ball. Fletcher leaves it for Heyman, who winds up, has a crack.
Gone out for a corner.
So gone for a corner.
Looks like it's flicked. And Melbourne City player on the way through. That's what the referees detected.
Her eyes better than mine, but here's another opportunity for Canberra. This time it is Fletcher delivering from the left, leaping high, and momentarily cleared by Dobson, headed down by Dobson. Back with Canberra. Oh, flushes across the front of goal, and both Heyman and Flannery brewing the fact they couldn't get on the end of that. Great work from Paige Satchell.
Well, a good bit of pressure from Canberra off the back of the free kick, which was hit by Michelle Heyman. The referee said it took a flick through, which resulted in the corner. Now, Melbourne City didn't think there was a fair cop as they tried to clear the ball, and then Canberra just needed a player to leave their feet. So all those Melbourne City players are inside the box. The question is, where did the referee see the contact? If it was an arm, no Canberra player appealed, and the arms are all tight to the body anyway.
The deflection and the resulting corner came to nothing for Canberra, still trying to find that first goal. Interesting stat, Canberra have actually never led Melbourne City at the halftime break, so this is nothing new for them. Very different Canberra side to the one we saw last season. They finished 6th, 4 wins, 1 draw, 7 losses. And the worst goal difference of all the sides in the league. That looks certainly set to change this season. Kendall Fletcher, one of those important defenders, returned in green. Neatly shepherded out by Canberra United. Davidson can't evade her defenders. They'll have another throw though. Tegan Allen wanders over. Throw again cleared by Canberra, put back into play by Johnson. Player down.
Yeah, Izzy Folletta, the right back for Canberra, just got beaten to the ball by Margot Rabin. Continued with her effort to win the ball, and that's contact from behind. It's a good decision from the ref.
Free kick in a nice spot. Youngsters not afraid to have their voice heard. Sam Johnson prepares to deliver for Melbourne City. And Johnson once again was a carbon copy of the one in the first half. Straight back to the feet. Thought she might put a bit more on that.
Yeah, the set pieces haven't really been great from either team, to be honest. Not when you consider some of the good lead-up play and some of the quality on show.
Oh, it was a decent ball in from Johnson. Palmer unable to get that into the back of the net.
That's a good run from Holly Palmer, though. So Folletta just beaten by Johnson, and the run out of midfield from Palmer was a good one.
And Palmer to put the ball in. Ex-Brisbane Roar. And that's beautifully flighted. It looked like it was getting right for the forehead of Tori Turmouth.
He's had a good game tonight, Tori Turmouth. Out of Sydney Uni in the New South Wales WNPL. bachelor's degree in primary education. She leapt high at the back post there.
Got a few teachers in this league. You'd be well placed to tell us, Huff. What is it about footballers and school teachers?
It's a thinking game.
Looks like City might be the first to go to their bench.
Harriet Withers came off the bench game 1. Looks like she's going to do the same again here, just getting the last-minute briefing. Actually does provide a little bit of pace, a little bit more speed than Melbourne City have certainly shown so far. Beautiful work.
Harriet Withers, another one that went to college in the US. She was at Murray State University, came through the Queensland NPL. Is that the QNPLW? I think that's how you'd say it.
It's like alphabet soup.
Pretty much.
Look at that.
Fletcher's ball picked out a teammate perfectly, unable though to carry on with the attack. Koulazakis chasing Kane. Toomuth again. Oh, now that's dropped for Davidson. But first touch a little heavy. Here, back to Fletcher. It's dangerous. Good vision from Hughes. Not so from the next pass.
Well, unfortunately, Satchel started a run and then stopped. But it's too late for Izzy Folletta to pick up the change of run. Pass was already in motion, or her action to pass it. But this is better from Melbourne City. This is probably their best sustained period in the game. Canberra just not able, as they were in the first half, to work the ball over halfway. Look how deep Michelle Heyman is as they're furthest forward, the centre forward.
Allen hoping to find Palmer. Here, too strong.
But Palmer sticks to the task and wins the corner. And then lob these balls into the danger zone, and it can become a bit of a lottery. We saw Tori Toomuth last corner winning the header. There she is again, the centre half for Melbourne City, taking up an attacking position on the second post.
Oh, ball in a good position, headed away. Left for Fletcher to chase. And that's lovely from Fletcher to Heyman. And as you mentioned, Harms, quite far up the park. Now Kane is dispossessed by Heyman. McCormick can't control, but ultimately goes to Robin. Squeals from City, and wow. It was finally a decent shot. Leah Davison having a crack and forcing a save out of Sally James.
Well, it's the first nervous moment for Sally James since the first minute of the game. But again, Melbourne City, and credit to Rado Vidicic and the response from the team, they're way more aggressive off the ball. Their press has been good. They're winning possession in Canberra's half, and they're attacking from that platform. And James scrambling across a line, 17-year-old. Did a good job defensively to palm the ball away.
Chance again for City. Punched away by Sally James. Back in, and Sarah Kane sent it flying once more towards James. Collects easily.
It was an outstanding defensive header from Kendall Fletcher. Great experience. And you know, we talk about the US college system, Steph, and I'm sure some viewers think we do so ad nauseum. But in my humble opinion, it's over the last 3 or 4 decades been the best competitive breeding ground for women footballers that the world has known. That's why it's such a reference point. You look at someone like Kendall Fletcher.
Now we're looking at Michelle Heyman and being brilliant. But yes, Kendall Fletcher.
So she wins the College Cup, as it's called, the granddaddy tournament of them all for NCAA Division 1 teams, for the strongest ever varsity football program at North Carolina Tar Heels. If you make that as a scholarship, you're something.
Yeah.
If you win the College Cup in American college sport, people need to appreciate how hot that competition is. Kendall Fletcher did it in 2003, and she's been pumping on ever since as a quality footballer.
Extraordinary. Head of Michelle Heyman can't connect, and we can just see with the longevity of a player like Fletcher. She's been valuable at really at a number of teams. She's spent time at Victory, at Canberra United before. Of course, also at the Wanderers for a season and at Canberra United. Now I'm really looking forward to this, Andy. We've seen the Japanese import coming on, Chinatsu Kira, just out of quarantine. I don't know how much mileage she'll have in the legs, but great to see her coming on, and she replaces Margot Robin. And we've also got Harriet Withers on the park with Dobson making way. Of course, Melbourne City had Yukari Kinga in their ranks, so they're not new to having Japanese internationals. We'll see what Kira can offer, but at the moment it's once again Canberra United. McCormick making a liar out of me there. McCormick, another one that has had a period of time in green. Been with Adelaide for a couple of stints, Canberra, Brisbane. Now heading down for Melbourne City. Kane sends Kira off for her first touch of the ball. Bobbles it away for Davidson to Palmer. Back for Davidson, lovely 1-2 between the two ex-Brisbane teammates, and another decent save by Sally James.
Well, it's been an excellent second half from Melbourne City. Davidson to Palmer, and Canberra just not closing the spaces they did as well in the first half. And this has got to go across the keeper. It's really spectacular from James, credit the goalkeeper, but a lovely 1-2. Laura Hughes didn't read the defensive play that was required. That ball's got to go across Canberra keeper James, and Melbourne City would probably be a goal to the good.
What can they do here?
It's Kendall again. It's incredible. I mean, in the women's game, to know that the ball's flying across, you've got eyes on the ball coming from the corner, and you sense that there's some sort of athlete in the form of Jenna McCormick coming at 300 miles an hour over your shoulder, and still she holds the ground. And it's not only technically a great header, it's very brave defending from Fletcher.
Back to Kira now, Vlanic.
You know, the game's turned. It's certainly turned.
Certainly has. And Vicky Linton now calling for a sub.
She had her team was clearly the better of the two in the first half. Melbourne City have turned things right around. They're putting all the pressure on at the moment.
We're going to see Sasha Grove coming on break time for Demi Koulazakis at the next opportunity. We have another foray, and turns into temporarily another turnover. Grace Maher back in possession.
Beautiful. Magnificent from Grace Maher. Just when your team needs someone to show the leadership, to keep the ball and not panic. Superb work this from Grace Maher. Awareness, who's on, nothing on. I've got to keep the ball, I've got to use my technique, take the heat out of the game. Great leadership from Grace Maher.
Koulazakis makes her way to the bench. Sasha Grove, recently promoted to a full contract after being on a training agreement. Now, this young lady turned 16 a few days ago, so her average age just keeps dropping. Known as a very technical midfielder, and according to our secret squirrel spy Grace Gill says Grove can run for days. So with her and Satchel together on the same team. Just wanted to add something to what you said about the college system, Andy, and I think perhaps in Australia we underestimate how valuable those scholarships are with college being so expensive, and it's seen as a real pathway out of one life into another for the students that manage to bag those scholarships. But that gives you some indication of how competitive they are, and as you mentioned, how good you need to be, not just to get one, but to then succeed from there.
Well, it's just white-hot competition across all the sports they do. The facilities are unbelievable. But you've got to earn your keep. You've got to do well to get a gig to start with.
Oh, neat ball from Palmer to find Davidson. That might have hit Fletcher's hand. No whistle. Kira, lovely. Back to Davidson, and Palmer connects. And that one doesn't force a save out of Sally James, but much more attacking intent from the Melbourne City side.
Much better. It's gone across the field, but the most of the turning up of the temperature has come from Davidson and Palmer, the number 18 here, to the number 8. Now a touch with the right foot onto the left, open the goal up and finish. The youngster rushed that one. And that was a great chance. That's strong from McCormick.
Groans of dismay as Canberra United's Jessica Nash managed to roll that away. Jessica Nash is a former captain of the junior Matildas, played in Thailand, and when she was playing in Chonburi, I think she had the whole family over there, about 9 of them. I think her mother said they'd racked up about 45,000 K watching her. Fortunately for anyone making it in 2023, not far to go at all as Nicoletta Flannery not able to beat Micah.
Well, it was an opportunity for Canberra, a rare one, just to turn Melbourne City around. Haven't been able to do that much in the second half.
Tina's putting pressure on Sasha Grove with her first touch.
It's a beautiful ball over from Mar. Just too heavy the touch there, unfortunately, for Flannery. She was under real pressure from Tuman, the defender for Melbourne City, who covered the ground nicely.
Good from Allen. Tuman was hoping that Withers might have ended up there earlier. Withers headed down on trial from Queensland, been included, and as Andy mentioned before, 2 substitute appearances now. Kira, one of the only real international imports we're seeing this season. While it's a shame, it's certainly offering opportunity for the likes of what we're seeing today. Some youngsters that Lisa Devanna put it really well. She said these kids wouldn't get a look in. They'd get to sit on the bench and train with us, but this season they're actually getting a crack. And that's a really important part of football. I mean, we whinge about our development pathway, and this is how you do it.
And you can't develop without playing. Because I don't think anyone in the game in Australia is prepared to suggest that the Women's League is the finished product. There's a lot of energy around the comp, a lot of energy around the discussion about growing the comp, and it's all really healthy discussion. And I've got little doubt that with everyone bandying together, the necessary expansion can happen, that the season can become of a length that players can actually settle in their lives professionally, not have to cut and paste bits of comps here and there to make a career, and more players can get developed through that foundation. And that's certainly the goal for everyone in the game.
100%, and that's something the players who've gone over to Europe have actually verbalised. Lydia Williams said it's so interesting to not have to pack. So I'm not even thinking about packing.
Yeah.
We've lost some youngsters, the likes of India Page Riley from Brisbane, who've gone over to Scandinavia for the same reason. Oh, that's potentially dangerous for Canberra United, and Micah deals with it well. But it's that ability to keep playing high-quality football, and that's, I think, the first. Before expansion in the W League, it'd be nice to have a full home and away season, but we've been saying that for 13 seasons.
Yeah.
Heyman, lovely turn. Comes to naught. Kira over the ball, and it's turned over.
A little bit of frustration starting to come to the surface now for Canberra. I saw Michelle Heyman turning there. 100% sure that I disagree with Michelle on that case. Looked like a fair challenge. But she's completely isolated now. And she was at least being able to get into a 1v1 situation in the first half. But Melbourne City, to their credit, have really increased their output physically. They're getting numbers forward, which is making it difficult for Canberra to play out. They're getting numbers back, which is making it difficult for Michelle Heyman to get any space.
And Hughes twisting, turning, wriggling free. And to lay it on for Flannery. Oh, nice work, combination between Grace Maher and Nicoletta Flannery, and Maher runs away with it. She's going to need some support. Cross back in by Maher, and nothing Heyman could connect with. I believe one of the plans from the unbundling will be that every A-League team has a W-League team. I did have an interesting talk to Kendall Fletcher, who spoke about the benefits of having a W-League team that doesn't have an A-League team.
Yeah.
So which way do you want to look at it?
Well, number one priority is the comp grows. Right?
Definitely.
I think everyone gets that. But I, for years, have wondered why W League can only be a manifestation of an A-League club.
Yeah.
And Canberra's not at the moment. That's the outstanding example. But just imagine if someone wanted to bankroll the Illawarra Stingrays. Why couldn't they be? Or Sydney University, which wouldn't need bankrolling. I mean, what an institution to have playing.
Yep. Oh, Michelle Heyman, flag stays down, and it's in the top corner. Michelle Heyman, with her 4th goal of the season, gets Canberra off the mark. Finally, some reward for all that effort in the first half, and who else but last week's hat-trick hero, Michelle Heyman. Canberra United finally a goal ahead against the defending champions.
Well, it's a beautiful ball over the top by the left-footed Lauren Keir. But it's with her right foot. Look at this from Keir. Beautiful, over the top. McCormick beaten positionally, and Heyman helps herself to a 4th in 2 games. It's a beautiful finish from Canberra. On the balance of play in the first half, deserved their lead. They've been paddling in this second half. But the pass over the top from Lauren Keir was a beauty. The finish from Heyman was assured.
And look at that, she's climbing up the all-time goal-scoring charts. You think with Sam Kerr no longer in this league that Michelle Heyman could hit that by the end of this game?
Well, it's great respite as well for Canberra, who were finding the game difficult in this second half to establish a foothold. What a beautiful ball over the top from the left fullback Lauren Keir out of Canberra sporting royalty. Father was an NRL player, mother was a state hockey player, sister's a pro tennis player, brothers in an NRL rugby league feeder team.
Oh, running away again for Canberra United. Certainly got their tails up now, and Hughes unable to find Michelle Heyman. But yeah, you're too right. There's a whole lot of ACT sporting royalty in just the one family.
Well, this sort of has put the family name in lights if it needed any more advertising here today with that pass to assist Michelle Heyman.
Well, now Withers off trotting towards the Canberra goal. A bit of confusion between the Canberra defenders, but Fletcher and Keir hold firm. Of course, right at this particular moment, that brings Melbourne City's unbeaten streak to a screaming halt. I'm sure they'll be looking to rectify that in the final 15 or so minutes. Perhaps through Japanese import Kira.
Well, if they'd gone behind in the first half, I wouldn't have felt so confident that Melbourne City could get out of it. But what they've delivered in this second half, much better. And it's certainly within Melbourne City's capabilities to get out of this one.
More what we used to seeing in city sides of old. This is certainly looking more like a Canberra side of old. Sarah Kane cut down, adjudged to have been fouled by Sasha Grove.
Yeah, it's a quizzical look from the coaching staff at that decision. I thought Grove had won it fairly as well.
Little chat from between Kendall Fletcher and Casey Rybart. Kendall always looks so friendly when she has those chats. And it looks like she might be winding up to make another substitution. Let's see what Kira can do. Oh, right in the right spot, because Melbourne City have equalised, and Jenna McCormick says, yes, I'll take that. Well, she's looking to make a spot perhaps back in national contention, and that's a decent way to start. Jenna McCormick, today's stand-in captain, brings Melbourne City level.
Well, in the end, the matchup was unfair. Jenna McCormick was beaten for the Canberra goal, ball over the top from Keir. She's made amends here. The matchup was not a fair one, up against Jessica Nash, the young 16-year-old. And Jenna McCormick attacking that ball with ferocity, and it's a bullet header.
5 goals in her 88 W League matches for Jenna McCormick. Inaugural winner of the AFLW as well. In fact, we did mention, Harps, in the last game we did in the Sydney Derby that AFLW seems to bring these players back better than ever.
Well, in one aspect of the game, certainly, and that's the aspect, attacking the ball. I don't make the point lightly. Ellie Brush as well the other night, Gemma McCormick on that occasion then. That's the virtue of women's Aussie rules. Aussie rules is a game, but our girls having a crack at it, that attacking of the ball, and that was, didn't that come home to roost with that goal-scoring effort from the Matilda Jenna McCormick?
Yeah, definitely McCormick. That's her first goal for Melbourne City. She, of course, spent some time with Real Betis in the W League off-season. I do say some time because I think she got a 15-minute look-in against Barcelona on Halloween, and that was the only match time she saw, so jumped at the chance to come back. Interesting even for talented players how that move sometimes just doesn't work out. Vidicic more than happy to have her in his ranks, and she's just proved why. Creeping towards the 80-minute mark here at Viking Park, and good afternoon to all of you joining us, whether on Fox Sports, the ABC, or on any other avenue through the app. There's so many ways to watch now. Great to have you with us, and it's been a really entertaining clash here at Viking Park, not the traditional home of Canberra United.
There's the foul on Jessica Nash, young 16-year-old, who I think has had a great game. But the tail of the tape, unfortunately, at least in that goal, is going to show how difficult assignment it is for a youngster up against a really seasoned, physical, senior professional. I don't think, really, Jessica Nash deserved to be put one-on-one with McCormick in that situation. And a really good game, the youngster otherwise. Very composed.
And we've got another teenager being readied on the sidelines as Nicoletta Flannery tries to edge Canberra forward. Jenna McCormick, too good for Heyman on that occasion. Hayley Taylor-Young, 18 years old, looking to make her entrance. Toomuth. Fletcher, a rare fumble back to Holly Palmer. Kira, a bit messy from Melbourne City. We'll give them the opportunity to make that change, and it is Michelle Heyman, goal scorer, who comes off for the 18-year-old Taylor-Young, product of the Canberra United Academy.
Well, there's another look at that beautiful ball, and it's just an unerring finish from Heyman. And we've seen the form of Tegan Micah in the Melbourne City goal. You have to do well to beat her, but Micah was no chance there. Excellent goal from Canberra, a lead onto which they couldn't hold.
And charging forward again, the fleet-footed Paige Satchel on the near flank. Grace Marr. Hughes. Encouragement from Linton coming from the sideline. Reset with Fletcher. Fletcher. Canberra finding it harder to get through now. You can hear Linton urging them forward. Back in, that's dropped really favourably for Canberra. Satchel has no trouble running that down. Still with Satchel, and has a look. Well, it was worth a look, had a bit of space.
Well, was pretty dominant in the first half, Satchel. Has been peripheral in the second half. But that little exercise there was an example of how dangerous she could be. Here's the ball over the top for Canberra's goal. Again, you can't see this enough. Beautiful work from Michelle Heyman.
Precision shooting there from Michelle Heyman, who we're happy to say has joined us now on the sideline. Michelle, congratulations, 4 goals in 2 games. Wow, have you hit your straps early in the W League? Do you feel like you're 20 again?
I definitely do. It feels kind of nice. I feel very, very fresh.
Hey, Michelle, it's Andy Harper here. We've been talking about the impact of the American college system on developing players. It sounds like in our own backyard, landscape gardening doesn't hurt either.
Definitely makes you strong. Gives you a sore back, though, if you don't do it right.
Fantastic goal, and you've had a really good game as the point player and bringing other players in. Beautiful touches. As that space was opening up and you're coming up against Tegan Micah, who's been in great form in goal for Melbourne City, take us through the mindset. What does a striker do for the youngsters watching to seize this moment?
Yeah. I saw Tegan just step a little bit to her right, and it just opened up the goal. So I knew all I had to do was just try and bend it in, and I was just kind of trying to stay as composed as possible. And I knew if I just played this simply, then it would go in, and lucky enough it did, and it kind of looked pretty.
I think it looked more than pretty. You'll enjoy watching that one on your highlights reel for years to come. Michelle, back in the W League after a short absence. It's good to see you here again, but can we assume that you have Tokyo on your mind?
Yeah, definitely. I think taking a year off was the best thing that ever happened to me, just to heal my body, and now I feel better than ever, and it's just nice to finally get back out there and have some fun and, you know, score a couple of goals. So I'm just going to continue to push every game and see where it can take me.
You look like you're having a ball, Michelle. Great to see you out there on the park. Thanks for chatting to us, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Michelle Heyman, evergreen, I think we can call her, 32 years of age, and, well, just back better than ever. We'll be hoping, though, that Canberra can capitalise on the quality of her first goal as she is throw-in, rinse and repeat.
It was about 5 minutes plus stoppages to get a winner here. Both teams at this point can point to periods of real dominance, but it's a game that deserves a winner.
does, and we perhaps bemoan the lack of decent chances in the first half, but well, there's been no lack in the second. 2 really decent goals, a powerful header from Jenna McCormick, equalising for City. Which, of course, Andy, I told you I was putting the mockers on it, but it does keep that undefeated streak alive for them. So they are on 18, which equals their own, plus Brisbane's and Canberra's. But they'll need this scoreline to stay the same, or they'll have to better it, perhaps through Kira here as she trots forward. Seen so many players, Harps, particularly in the men's game more so, but a few come through in the women's game who have been in that 2 weeks of quarantine. How much do you reckon that affects them? What does 2 weeks do to you as an athlete?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know how I'd cope if I didn't have to get my body ready for elite sport. So the fact that they come out in any sort of shape and all ready to go, I think it speaks testament to the strength of mind.
Yeah, apparently the mental challenge is huge, and just while we were chatting, an amazing ball from Paige Satchel through to Taylor Young. Seen so many of them today from Satchel.
But if there's one thing that separates the wheat from the chaff in a player's sense, you know, guys and girls who get to this level and then succeed at this level, it's strength of mind, strength of character. And I say without fear or favour, particularly those in the women's game, because they have to fight harder to get anything in the game. Cobble together, as we've said, cobble together a playing career around the globe. And it looked like a handball to me. And so really, on that basis, 2 weeks in quarantine ain't nothing.
Fair shout. Sure, the club organised some exercise bikes or whatever, so they could maintain some level of fitness. Alex Chidiak, of course, finishing up her quarantine and will be joining Melbourne City soon.
Yeah, that's a big pickup, really big pickup.
Well, shot here for Canberra. It's well over the crossbar, but nice vision, hoping to catch Tegan Micah off her line.
No, she's had a good game. Izzy Folletta out of the Perth Glory. Missed most of last season with a hip injury, but has linked nicely down that right-hand side with Flannery. I mean, look at this Canberra team, and very well coached as it is, but, you know, in Laura Hughes at 19 and Grace Maher at 21, still young. It's as good a midfield pairing, surely, as is going in the comp at the moment. You can really build a lot.
Oh, landed beautifully for Harriet Withers and took a reflex save from Sally James. Excellent build-up work from Melbourne City. And James has been a lot more active this second half.
Well, this is the value of Harriet Withers. She brings that power and speed. It's been a better second half for Melbourne City, period. But this is also the sort of thing they missed in the first half. You know, someone to break the line with their power and speed and turn Canberra around. And the excellent Kendall Fletcher is feeling the effects now of having to turn and chase. The substitute, she's been great, the American. Good save that from James, great run,
and
as
a
it was.
Lovely ball from Chinatsu Kira to find Harriet Withers. Well, Fletcher's got a hold on for another minute plus change off the crossbar. And City certainly threatening. Hoping to chalk up a first win for the season. To go about 160 odd minutes before they could get their first goal of the season. In the end, the powerful header from Jenna McCormick keeps their record alive and keeps them in this match. Can someone find a breakthrough in the time we have left? So the side's starting to look like they're running out of a bit of puff. Not the substitute Harriet Withers, though. Takes on the Canberra defence easily. Has a shot right in the breadbasket of James as we see the board go up. 3 minutes of time remaining here at Viking Park.
Well, this had plenty on it. This is lovely from Withers. Just squares up 2 Canberra defenders, cuts in onto a favourite right boot and really packs some punch in that one.
Of course, this is not the end of the W League round. Melbourne Victory and Brisbane Roar to kick off after this match. Ollie Palmer goes on the hunt. Still Palmer, good work from Kia. Nice. Well, she felt every bit of that Nikki Flannery. Yeah, so Melbourne Victory in action for the first time this season. They'll take on Brisbane Roar at C.B. Smith Reserve in Melbourne. Lisa Devanna back. And of course, more A-League tonight as well, with Adelaide and Melbourne City kicking off at Cooper Stadium. Next week in the W League, our match on ABC on the Sunday will be the Melbourne Derby. That'll be an interesting one. Winton perhaps trying to get, you can hear her mentioning Kendall Fletcher's coming off, making a late substitute. Jessie Rashart will get a run. Rashart is a local Canberra product, been playing with Belconnen United. Has had 9 outings for Canberra previously, brought into the side, I believe, under Heather Garriock. Looks quite promising. A late debut into W League action for Rashart at 33.
That bumps the average age back up then.
It does. Also the average height. So Rashart takes her place, just under a minute to make an impact. Can we get a goal in the dying minute to break the deadlock here at Viking Park? Hooked up midfield, Rashart with her first intervention. Flannery, good touch, looking for help. Still Flannery. Oh, and Flannery does it. Nicoletta Flannery finds a winner that has to give the points to Canberra United. What a finish. Don't even think Tegan Micah saw that coming. Turned, shot, Nicoletta Flannery, well done.
Well, it's been a weekend of stunning goals, certainly in the A-League, and Nicoletta Flannery from some distance, if you don't mind. This will probably be the last kick of the game. And Tegan Micah at full stretch cannot do anything about that. It's a brilliant hit from the former Jet, who has sent Canberra soaring to 3 points here.
What a finish. Is this going to be the trademark of Canberra United this season?
Injury time goals. Brilliant stuff from Flannery.
We saw how exhausted she was looking, and what a way to finish. That is reward for some effort from Nikki Flannery. We have ticked over the time allotted. You think Casey Rybel keeping a close eye on her watch. The fans can sense that there is the full-time whistle, and that is 3 points for Canberra United. Started off with an absolute perler from Michelle Heyman. Jenna McCormick coming back into it with a hefty header for Melbourne City to equal the scores, and Nicoletta Flannery with an absolute belter to give Canberra United the points. And that does end the unbeaten run for Melbourne City, but well deserved for Canberra.
On the balance of the